So AH and her co-conspirators didn't just try taking down my YouTube channel. Oh no, that's just the beginning. What they've tried to do is they've tried to take down my entire life. That's right. You see quotes like this, for example, talking about myself as a therapist. Remember, they've been using my name, by the way, trying to spread false rumors about things that happened that, well, it didn't, saying, yeah, that guy there, he was fired from jobs that, well, he's actually still employed at. Now, on top of that, these crazies, and that's exactly what they are, by the way. They are diagnosable in there, crazy. They have been harassing old workplaces. They've been trying to figure out if they can somehow make sure that I can't be a therapist. I mean, this stuff, it is absolutely crazy. And well, they've even gone as far as openly, I mean, this is right out in the open on Twitter, talking about hiring private investigators in my area. Why? Because they want to dig into my life. Hopefully they can get me fired from something. Maybe they can target the kids as well. I mean, this stuff, it is absolutely crazy. And you know who's directly responsible for these actions, by the way? Well, none other than AH herself. I mean, if you look at the players in this, you have Eve Barlow, for example. This is her mouthpiece to the world. This is her live-in girlfriend. This is the person that got kicked out of the courtroom because they falsified information. They presented it to Rottenberg. They took down a witness. Plus, they were tweeting inside. And that is just the beginning of the paid players associated with AH. And interestingly, these tactics, they include the mainstream media. That's right. Here's Newsweek. What did Newsweek decide to do in their opening statements? They decided to put my name in there. Why? Because they know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to aim at my real life. This stuff, by the way, it'll never shut me up. It just motivates me to go harder, but I want to show you what they're doing. Oh man, those are such desperate moves and such fun times. Such fun times indeed. So, hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. And isn't it interesting in a world where we supposedly respect other people's choices, where we respect their identities, where we go out and we don't use names that they have laid to the side? Well, when you're going and you're pushing a perpetrator of DV, hey, you can throw out real names. You can try to destroy people, and you can do it for profit. That's what Bot Sentinel right here is doing, by the way. This guy hired in 2020 by AH to do some dirty work, and it looks like the dirty work continues. Now, I showed you a few of the people with direct connection with AH. Note I said a few there. There are a lot more involved, but I wanted to show you who is pulling the strings. Why? Because I wanted to show you that it's not about taking down channels. What this is, it's about life ruination. Why? Because revenge, get the guy back that we brought up in the trial again and again. Now, the way that they want to do this, by the way, well, it's through false accusations. The same way AH is always played. And you get things like this here. Listen to this crazy. They're saying, I wonder who they are. Well, you can get one guess. Rhymes with AH. He got fired from his job as a therapist for sleeping with an underage patient, which is why he now makes anonymous videos smearing female, accosting victims. It's crazy how YouTube provides a platform for literal sexual predators and rewards them. Yeah, you could go in and do a background check very easily. You could just look that up. You could find my name. By the way, they've been posting where I lived, so they could look up my address as well. That's right, they've been posting that. I have an 8 and a 2-year-old here, by the way. But that that would take this apart. By the way, I still work in mental health, so you would see this pop up and get me fired every 6 months. That's when we have that. Some places have it 3, we have it 6 months. But beyond that, I never worked with teenagers, which is what they're applying. I worked with little kids most of the time. Those little kids, they had been through terrible things. In fact, I stopped working with little kids because I have this thing called secondary trauma. You work with trauma victims for so long, that stuff, it rubs off on you. I've also had things in my background. I'll never talk about them because they weaponize that stuff. But yeah, you put all of that together and it makes this stuff hard to be around. It messes you up inside. That's why cases like this are important to me, because the words that are thrown around, the ones that were really used as part of a hoax, those words matter. The people it happens to matters. So yeah, all of this, it's false and then some. Now, speaking of workplaces, these folks, they found an old workplace of mine, and guess what they did all day long yesterday? They harassed the place. That's right. They wanted to find out more about myself. They wanted to see if they could make sure I could never practice therapy again. And in order to do that, they tied up lines for a mental health facility that helps people when they want to harm themselves, when they're going through the worst times of their lives. Yeah, this is what their advocacy looks like. You speak out on behalf of male survivors of DV as a therapist. They want to shut you down. Now, on top of that, you have people like old Ron here. And Ron, publicly, he makes it very clear he wants to hire people to harass us. That's right. Gotta hire private investigators in the area. Why? Because this guy, he doesn't like what we talk about, because we talk about false accusations and false accusers. Quote, he is an ex-counselor for bullied kids. Again, not bullied kids, kids with trauma. Plus, I've worked with a lot of other folks as well. Not sure why he doesn't do that anymore, but his history is creepy. History's creepy indeed. I have a ton of info on him and his group of YouTubers he works with to amplify his message. Apparently, everyone's working with me now. That's a new one, by the way. Do we know any private investigators who work in his area? I am suspicious of anyone who has to wear a mask and is filled with that much hate. There are a ton of questions that need answers. Why isn't he a counselor anymore? By the way, this guy, he was actually convicted of trying to threaten a judge, of threatening his ex. He actually attacked her. He actually, on record in tapes, talked about beheading her dogs and more. Yeah, these are the quality people that are being weaponized by AH. These are the people, again, that want to send people to your homes. You have other people talking about CPS and so many other crazy things. Again, life ruination tactics, because God forbid you talk about the reality of what happened to JD, and God forbid you help with the win in the court of public opinion. It's not going to stop me, though. They're never going to stop me, but yeah, I wanted to show you what they're doing. Anyway, let me know what you think about that stuff. Want to help out the channel, by the way? Links in the description. We have our own comic book. You should definitely check that out. We also have locals. Check that out too. That's a way you can directly back us. But yeah, let me know what you think. I appreciate the heck out of you being here. These folks, they are interesting because, again, they're trying hard. They'll never back me down. They will never ever succeed. But yeah, anyway, appreciate you. See you soon.